Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be talking about zodiac signs and love, and I'm going to go through all the signs, of course, in chronological order, starting with Aries and working my way down to Pisces. Now, with Aries, I think one fundamental thing with this sign is that we know that they're aggressive and assertive. If they do love somebody or have strong feelings toward them, they're not going to make any bones about it, about letting him or her know. And if something is going wrong in the relationship, they're going to speak their mind very clearly and very openly regarding this. They could be very ardent when it comes to love, I believe, very passionate, and they will basically, you're going to know where you stand with an Aries in a relationship. Now, for Taurus, Taurus is very methodical. They could appear somewhat plotting. Now, Taurus will approach relationships and love in a very cautious manner. They will make sure very strongly that the person is right for him or her. And but when they do make a decision and they decide if they want to embark on a relationship with someone, they could be very loyal and very steadfast. And Taurus is a sign, obviously, very consistent, and they would be in a relationship and be very, I guess you could say, reliable as far as their love mate goes, or their significant other. And Taurus is not the type to let somebody down, and very stable and loyal in love, I believe. Now, Gemini in love will look for often mental stimulation as well as physical, and as far as an attraction, physical attraction would go. Geminis like variety, and they could get bored if the partner is somewhat monotonous and just wants to do the same thing day in and day out. So Geminis in love, they like to have, I would say, spontaneity, and maybe keep things a little unpredictable from time to time in terms of interests and activities. So that's what I really notice as far as Geminis go, as far as their love goes. And Geminis could make very nice, I guess you could say, because their temperament, very, I say, good companions if they're able to be pinned down because of their friendly and amiable disposition. But like I stated before, they disdain boredom. Anyway, the next sign, Cancer. Now, Cancer can arguably be the sign that maybe loves the most on average in love, and can get hurt very easily because of this. In Cancer, it's important to watch these people's feelings, as they could be very extremely sensitive. Anything that might be perceived as criticism or ridicule, they can be exceptionally sensitive to. But Cancers can make very loyal companions, similar to Taurus. But Cancers have to watch. They could be a little clingy in relationships, and they need sometimes to give that partner, significant other, some space, I believe. And I think that's the thing I noticed with Cancer. But all in all, they could be very loving, very amorous, and very giving in a relationship if you win his or her heart. Now, with Leo, Leo is obviously a very dignified and proud. They could be very exceptionally loyal people, and they basically, they're going to want that same kind of, they want it in reciprocation as far as the loyalty goes. Now, the thing about Leo, though, is if you win an argument or something with them in a relationship, they could get, that's the kind of thing that might hurt them from time to time because of that ego and the Leo pride. Now, Leos can sometimes be domineering and maybe a little bit controlling in relationships, because it's that need to be king and to dominate. So that's the one thing that should be guarded as far as Leo goes. But they can make very very good partners for the right. It's a good compatibility with that right person. Now, Virgo. Virgo is a sign we know that can be very analytical, and they're a sign that, being the fact that it's an earth sign, they're very pragmatic and prudent, and they're very careful, I would say, as assiduous as far as love matters go, and they will probably in many cases really try to analyze the positive and negative attributes of a prospective love mate, if you will, and they'll make their decision often based on that analysis. Now, if they feel that this person is a good match for him or her, Virgo can be, I guess we could say, somebody that might be a little bit particular and sometimes maybe judgmental and critical in as far as love goes. But at the same time, we know it's a mutable sign. They could be easygoing, and Virgos are not malicious people. They could be a little bit critical sometimes, but they do have a good friendly side to them. But like Gemini, they would like mental stimulation as well, being ruled by Mercury. But anyway, the next sign, Libra. Well, Libra is a sign that's about equality and being equitable and fair. Libras basically in love, I believe they strongly want fairness. They want others to give the equal, whether it's respect, whether it's just putting whatever into the relationship that he or she should. They're apt to put out about the same whatever the other person is going to do for them. They believe in justice. They abhor injustice. And a Libra, I believe, more so than any of the other signs on average, would extricate his or herself from a love situation if that partner was not putting out what he or she should be doing in terms of the relationship in general. Well, the next sign. Now, Scorpio. Now, Scorpio is an interesting sign. They can, being a fixed sign, they could be very, very loyal and steadfast and very much like a Taurus or a Leo. At the same time, they could be jealous, they could be possessive, and they need to guard, I think, against those things, and being maybe also the controlling thing. The fact that I think Scorpio, similar to Leo, can be domineering and can be controlling in relationships and in love. Now, they can make very, as far as their loyalty, they obviously are one of the better signs as far as that goes. But they don't really. What the thing with Scorpio, though, is they have their vengeful and vindictive quality when in its worst, in Scorpio's worst expression, or one of their worst expressions, and they need to just make sure that, well, if somebody, they say that he or she had somebody that they had a love interest in or whatever, and make sure that they hear somebody just talking casually to someone, not to just jump to conclusions and think, well, this person's having some kind of liaison with someone, and then maybe be spiteful and be angry at the person over something that might be innocent, because they are very suspicious, and maybe at times they might distort something where something might have just been an innocent conversation, for example, into something maybe greater. So the thing is just not to be overly protective and suspicious of the significant other or what have you. So Sagittarius. Now, Sagittarius is a sign we know that's jubilant and it's expansive, it's optimistic, happy-go-lucky. They generally, in love and relationships, that they can be very, I guess, have a very upbeat stance, and really try to always keep an optimistic and upbeat outlook. And really, the main thing with Sagittarius in love, one of the main things that could hurt him or her, is being with maybe love interest that might be despondent or might be somewhat pessimistic, because that would just bring him or her down. Sagittarius likes to go outdoors. They could be adventurous. They like to have a certain amount of maybe independence, and they like to be, and often they like to do things outdoors. They're often interested in sports. So those are the things, if you have somebody that's a Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, or Ascendant, in a relationship or perspective, one to keep in mind. Now Capricorn. Capricorn, we know, can come across as undemonstrative at times. They're very serious, stoic. They obviously are going to be very pragmatic, very conservative and conventional in terms of love. They want to find somebody that they really feel is a match for them on many levels, whether it's mentally, emotionally, someone that they feel will be there for him or her, just the basic things with Capricorn. And Capricorn, being an earth sign, is money conscious, and they would probably like to be in a situation where they feel that their partner or significant others is not going to go crazy as far as the funds go, especially if the Capricorn person is not exactly affluent or doesn't have an exorbitant amount of funds. Now, if he or she has a lot of money, that could be a different story, but they're probably going to be looking at the strong economical side of things in that relationship. So, and Capricorn is very business-minded, and the partner would have to understand that that Capricorn will often put a lot of interest in his or her work or business, but at the same time will put in the time in that love interest as well. Now Aquarius, I look at the sign Aquarius, and Aquarius can be very benign and very humanitarian and selfless, and they could do so in terms of their love interest. Now Aquarius can be known to be more mental and intellectual as opposed to physical. All signs are capable of being amorous and loving, but Aquarius needs to have that partner that they can relate to on as a friend as well as a lover, and it's important that they're very compatible as friends, as well as lovers, and as well as having that emotional attachment or connection. Well, last but not least, Pisces. Now Pisces in love can be very idealistic. They may overlook the transgressions of others to a degree. It's not so much that they're not aware of them or oblivious to them, but they're the kind of sign that would be willing to persist with a relationship, even if it seems like the person may have a number of shortcomings and flaws where it's not making the relationship as positive as he or she would like. And Pisces, being a water sign, can be very sensitive, and Pisces tries to see the best in others in situations and in relationships and love as well. It's important, if you have a Pisces friend like Sun, Moon, or Ascendant, that you're careful as far as the feelings go with this person. Pisces are some of the most well-meaning people out there, and they could be very compassionate and have a lot of love to give. And I think what hurts them is similar to Cancer. If Pisces is giving all this and not really getting much in return, obviously this can be devastating for him or her. So anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment for the zodiac signs and love. And stay tuned next time, where I'll be continuing my Chiron in the Sign series. Two things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person, astrologically speaking, based on this alone, because a person astrologically is the sum of all their components in their natal chart, and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.